A model exposes how she lost her legs by using a common feminine hygiene product.
I had 2 heart attacks.
This man swears he's got real aliens from Peru until skeptics call him out, and he loses his mind on live television.
It's a real-life alien.
Rap superstar Drake is called out for his questionable collection.
So, ladies, new ick unlocked here.
And the controversy surrounding Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis' support for Danny Masterson has escalated even further. Let's get into it. Our first story calls attention to all women to be wary of this common feminine product. In a recent episode of The Diary of a CEO, this model, athlete, and activist shared her jaw-dropping experience with a tampon.
This almost killed me, and it's hundreds and thousands of women.
And is ready to change the feminine hygiene industry for good.
If men's were falling off, there would be a resolution tomorrow. Until something's done, I won't quit.
It was October 3rd, 2012, when Lauren Wasser had just received her monthly visit from Aunt Flo. And gee, was she a rowdy visitor. Not only was the 24-year-old's period extremely heavy that day, but she was also experiencing flu-like symptoms that forced her to leave her friend's birthday party and retire early for the night. Take it easy. That was just the plan, at least. However, as Lauren's flu reached feverish highs, the model ended up passed out in her Santa Monica apartment. Luckily, Lauren's mother knew she wasn't feeling well, and when her daughter suddenly went radio silent, she called in a welfare check. But when Lauren was able to answer the door, the officer took that as a cue that she was okay and told Lauren to call her mother and left her alone.
He just left. The cop just left me.
Lauren told her mother she was going to sleep it off, but still concerned, her mother called in another welfare check. And this time, well, let's just say law enforcement didn't find Lauren at the front door.
They found me face down on my bedroom floor, defecated. Basically, I was dying. I was 10 minutes from death.
Lauren was rushed to the conveniently nearby St. John's Health Center, where she was put into a medically induced coma as her condition continued to deteriorate.
I had 2 heart attacks. My kidneys, my organs were failing. They put me on life support. I had 107 fever.
With the medical staff at a loss for how the healthy and athletic young adult had ended up in this state, Lauren's life hung in the balance. But then, an on-call infectious disease doctor asked the medical staff a question that would have been inappropriate in any other setting. Did the patient have a tampon in? She did, and sure enough, when the feminine hygiene product was tested, it came back positive for, take a wild guess.
Toxic shock syndrome caused by a tampon.
Toxic shock syndrome, or TSS for short, is a rare but infamous life-threatening condition caused by the release of toxins from an overgrowth of bacteria called Staphylococcus aureus. It's a bacteria that's usually resting harmlessly in the female genitalia. And even doctors aren't sure how this bacteria's toxins cause TSS. All they know is 2 things need to happen. 1, the bacteria has to go wild and release its toxins. 2, these toxins have to make their way into the bloodstream. The results of TSS, well, they can be devastating, as Lauren's case makes all too clear. Lauren was in a coma for over a week, during which friends lined up around the medical center to give their goodbyes, and family prepared for heartbreak, even going so far as to secure a casket for the 24-year-old. But miraculously, Lauren survived, although she didn't wake up in the same state she had been in before her sickness. See, to flush the toxins out of the model's body, she was pumped with 80 pounds of fluids, meaning Lauren was up a few dress sizes.
I was 200 pounds.
And that wasn't the only way Lauren had been transformed by her brush with death. Lauren's feet and hands had turned black, the result of her body fighting to keep her alive as the flow of vital fluids was diverted away from her extremities to her major organs. And one area had fared worse than the rest.
Basically, they needed to amputate my right leg to save my life, or I was going to die.
In fact, it was the medical staff's recommendation that the model amputate both legs, as the heel and toes on her left leg had been severely damaged.
And they were like, you have a 50-50 chance of ever walking again as far as keeping my left side.
Lauren decided to take those odds and only had her right leg amputated. Following the surgery, there was no dulling the pain the model felt, not mentally, and as it turned out, not physically either. See, due to complications during the procedure, Lauren wasn't allowed any pain medication after her amputation.
I have felt every single thing that was done to me. I felt like a shark had just ripped through my leg.
And adjusting to life with a physical disability was another seemingly unbearable challenge for the athlete.
Every day I would wheel myself into the shower, get myself on a stool, and just scream and cry and just yell at God. And wanting to think about ways I could myself. Something inside was like, just hold on.
It'll all just make sense. Just hold on, kid. Just don't pull the trigger.
Lauren didn't just accept what happened to her, but found power in her story as a model, athlete, and advocate for the dangers of TSS. She even made the decision ahead of her 30th birthday to have her other leg amputated, and now that she can move more freely, her only regret is not having the surgery sooner. For some viewers, Lauren's experience instilled a new aversion to tampons, whereas for others, it validated their distaste for the feminine hygiene product. The model had changed her tampon as directed. What she hadn't accounted for was that a tampon could be lethal in itself.
Feminine hygiene products that are available for women on the market right now, if we were to go look, they have chlorine, bleach, dioxin, all these synthetic fibers that we place inside of us at such a delicate time. That just gets in your bloodstream and it slowly do.
Naturally, this statement has come as a shock to the internet.
So I always knew that if you didn't change your tampon frequently, you were at risk of toxic shock syndrome, but I had no idea that you were still at risk, even if you did change it. I'm on the hunt for a good organic tampon, if they even exist, so if you know of any, please let me know.
But according to Lauren, there's nothing on the market that's currently 100% safe, as menstrual cups have also caused TSS. Pads use similarly toxic ingredients, and even organic tampons are sprayed with pesticides. Lauren is currently lobbying for bills that would protect women and hold the National Institute of Health responsible for determining what is and isn't safe to use in these products.
Why are we not a priority? Why are we not protected?
Our next story takes place on September 12th in Mexico. This new report might have you reaching for your tinfoil hat. Mexico is unboxing aliens. Mexico's Congress held a hearing on extraterrestrial life, and UFO enthusiast Kami Mosan presented two ancient mummified bodies, claiming they're over 1,000 years old and not part of our terrestrial evolution. The figures are about 60 centimeters tall, have elongated heads, and 3 fingers. Jamie claimed the specimens were retrieved from Nazca, Peru in 2017, but were allegedly found after a UFO wreckage in diatom algae mines and later fossilized. DNA was also tested, revealing over 30% came from unknown origins. MRI scans revealed bird-like bones, retractable necks, and contained metal implants made from rare metals like osmium. X-rays show what happened to be 3 eggs inside one of the specimens. If anyone had any doubts, Kami was ready with his zinger. It's the queen of all evidence. If the DNA shows they are non-human beings, we should take it as such. The internet had a field day with the supposed evidence. Everyone loved the imagery of the specimen laying down and appearing sickly. Need him to feel like this when I'm not around, moves Oven. The macaroni noodle that has been under it for 4 years. Others found the facial expression relatable. Me when I don't get a little treat, when the afternoon nap hit too hard. However, not everyone's buying it, with people comparing the figure to a movie set prop or a poorly made craft project.
Now I can't be the only one that thinks that these look like they were crafted in a year 9 art class.
And scientists believe the evidence might just be a grand hoax. Explaining many details about the figures made no sense, and a more advanced technology is needed to determine if they are non-human. Even though Kami testified under oath, others note he is not credible as he's been previously debunked in 2015 with a mummified body from Peru that was actually a human child. And in 2017, Kami reported a different 3-fingered alien from Nazca, which was published on Gaia, a platform with a history of providing false claims and conspiracy theories. As for the most recent specimen Kami presented, well, that would be debunked too, and quite easily with the x-rays he presented.
Instead of humeri, she sports femurs, or thigh bones. The fingers are a total mess too. The first pseudophalanges are facing in different directions on her left and right hands. Comparison shows that the reptiloid's cranial cavity fits perfectly the cranial cavity of a llama.
Canal N host Fernando Llanos confronted Kami on live television, claiming the specimens are prehistoric pieces, and asked him to return them to Peru, causing Kami to lose his mind.
¿Con qué sustento? Lo ideal, acá hemos hecho la misma prueba y lo que hemos llegado como conclusión que es un fraude.
No es cierto, no es cierto.
Aquí hemos llegado a la misma investigación hace 5 años.
No han hecho nada.
Es un fraude eso.
No han tocado estos cuerpos.
As for Congress, lawmaker Sergio Gutierrez Luna, who organized the hearing, emphasized Congress hasn't taken an official stance and stressed the importance of being open-minded and hearing all voices, all opinions. The mysteries of the universe may be closer to home than we think, but until more solid evidence is shown, the skepticism continues. Our third story proves collections don't just stop at rocks, seashells, and Pokemon cards, but in some cases, maybe they should. Throwing bras on stage is a time-honored tradition amongst concertgoers, especially when it comes to Drake concerts. In fact, the Canadian rapper has encouraged fans to launch these tokens of appreciation on stage at his current All a Blur tour.
If you're gonna throw up here, just make it bras only, please.
And attendees of all cup sizes have obliged. But as for where these undergarments go after the curtains close, well, that remained one of life's greatest mysteries, until recently. On September 6th, Drake showed a photo of himself to Instagram, posed in front of a kaleidoscope array of bras, neatly lined up in rows on the floor. The rapper captioned the image, "Remember when we both forgot who the F I was in unison? That wavelength was def a foolish one." And there was no argument. The collection was extensive.
This guy has it lined up like it's Jordans, you know what I mean? Got the cool gray bras in the top left, you know what I mean, the Concords.
While the photo doesn't capture every bra, given the number of rows and rough amount of undergarments in each of them, Men's Health estimated it's at least 378. But while numbers can't be argued, ethics can. See, although some users found humor in Drake's posts, and at least one fan claimed her undergarment, others weren't amused by Drake's display. No, to some, holding on to the bras broke a sort of unwritten code between musicians and concert attendees. Okay, that's very weird. You can't defend him over this. Creepy behavior. However, there were clearly 2 points of view on Drake's collection. I mean, they threw the bras at him. To me, it's hilarious and an accessory of him being that guy. But while the debate over whether Drake's collection was disturbing or impressive continued, when it came to the level of corniness, well, that was open for interpretation. So whether it was users critiquing the rapper posting this image at his age.
Sir, you are 36. This reminds me of that super senior in that fraternity on campus that cannot let go of his freshman year and wants to bask in his lost youth and basically collects all the bras of his prospects.
Or not being able to see past the fact that the collection was meticulously organized. There's no accounting for cringe. Our final story is an update on the Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis backlash. If you're not sure why this duo is in hot water, please check out our recent video about it by clicking the link in the description. Since Ashton and Mila's apology, celebrities Christina Ricci and Kathy Griffin expressed their disapproval of the duo's actions. Christina wrote in an IG story, "I've known lots of awesome guys who were lovely to me who have been proven to be abusers privately." Kathy posted a TikTok video explaining she called the police on her own brother after finding out he was a P.
And I tried to get him caught. Now, this was my brother. So I don't want to hear about Ashton and Mila and Giovanni Ribisi and people that feel like they had to stick up for Danny Masterson because he was their bro, he was their buddy. But for many years, I was shunned from my own family.
People also noticed in Mila's letter vouching for Danny's exceptional character. Mila also vouched for Danny's drug-free lifestyle, which directly contrasts with accusations of Danny drugging women in the case. Amid the backlash, things would escalate even more when Ashton quietly spoke his mind, sending text messages to fans. For context, Ashton created a mailing list to send mass text messages to fans back in January 2019. The last text he sent was on July 28th, offering fans a hotline for mental health help. But on September 12th, just 3 days after the apology video, Ashton shared a text that read, "A friend said something to me today. We have one heart we can fill in with hatred or love. I choose love." And while texts are easily doctored these days, various former Ashton fans shared screenshots showcasing the same message on their different devices. Some people responded to Ashton's out-of-touch texts. That friend wasn't Danny Masterson, was it? Many Redditors also ripped Ashton apart. What about choosing compassion or decency? Were they not an option? Amid the controversy, Ashton and Mila found themselves in another big hole. They've been hit with a whopping $1 million fine, not for their character letters about Danny, but for sliding into the crypto world without following all of the rules. Their NFT sales for the Stoner Cat series, which bagged $8 million from over 10,000 NFT sales, did not properly register these offers, which violated the Securities Act of 1933, according to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. While this is the latest news of Ashton, Mila, and Danny, it appears this is long from over, as there are still dark secrets that have yet to be exposed. Stay tuned as we continue to report on more stories. Whether it's the unexpected danger with tampons, a questionable alien discovery, a double-threat rapper/bra collector, or the continuous storm surrounding Ashton and Mila's decisions. We'll be back with more weekly highlights. What do you think about these stories? Let us know in the comments below.